Well, hello, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for April. I hope you are amazing. We are going to jump right in and see what we have for you. So, we're going to start off with Priest, I believe is in the reverse, violates the trust of your spiritual community and seduced by your own role. And Angels of the Seven Chakras, power, truth, and connection. You know, Taurus, it's hard to always try to be the leader, um, especially when you don't have all the answers, right? No one has all the answers. Only the higher power has all the answers. Um, and I feel like April brings about a certain humanity to you of not knowing all the answers, right? Of not like being the chosen one, quote unquote. And a realization that you have to start to take care of yourself. You have to balance yourself, okay? Especially with the seven chakras, it's a focus on there's a thing, a chakra, okay, that is associated loosely with ailments, um, that needs your attention. So just I'm going to briefly go over all of them. So we have the base chakra, which usually brings about an insecurity about your environment, what you have, your money, things like that. And then we move forward to the sacral chakra. And that's usually your self-worth, your self-confidence, how you feel about you. Okay. The solar plexus, moving on up, is your consciousness of how you interact with the universal consciousness, and this is other people around you. This sometimes can come up as childhood trauma issues, things like that. And then we have the heart chakra, and that is being needy. This is being problems with your heart. So being needy, being aggressive with your feelings, being distant, things like that, to like protect your heart, lack of compassion, so on and so forth. So then we move on up to the throat chakra. Throat chakra is your truth, your authenticity, who you are as a person. Are you following others? Are you following a guidebook, or are you just being who you are inside at soul level? The third eye chakra, up here, right between your eyebrows, that is feeling lost and confused in the consciousness, in the world, not feeling connected, not understanding, feeling lost. And then the crown chakra, which is above, right above you, is being disconnected from spirituality as a whole, right? Meaning that loss of inspiration and things like that. Okay, so that's just a brief rundown. If any of those resonated with you, I would definitely encourage you to research. Okay, so this is about inner balance, is what I'm getting. Okay, so we have the loving man, sacred mountain, courage, meadow, vulnerability, travel, and the great mystery. So I'm getting an awful big word slash phrase, promised land is what I'm getting for you, Taurus. And a lot of that is because I feel like you show love and care by taking control of the situation, okay? Or providing a pillar of strength. Like, it's hard, but I'm doing it, something of that nature. And it comes from, this is what's so funny about it, Taurus, is it comes from an admirable place. It comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of care. It comes from a place of hope and wanting to help others. I can definitely see that. But I feel like the problem is the compassion part, the understanding part, right? Um, that's the issue that I'm seeing. So it's like having the courage to match the energy of what's around you. You know, this is like, yeah, you can control the situation. You can pay the bills. You can get everything in order. But emotionally, the home is falling down. Emotionally, the relationship is not connecting. That is also as important. So it's about having the courage to be vulnerable in a place that you are not versed. So I'm going to say this. I see that there is going to be trouble moving forward, meaning that you could possibly be stuck in the same cycle until you learn, until you dive into this area that you are not versed in, that you might not completely understand, right? That doesn't have order to it, that you have to feel, you have to go through it emotionally. So just be aware of that. Okay, so let's go into the cards. All right, Taurus, for April. World, Eight of Swords, Five of Cups, or Five of Coins, I'm sorry. Eight of Coins, Five of Swords, Eight of Cups, the Hangman, the Tower, Ten of Cups. Be careful of always trying to be the one that wins. Be careful of equivalating power with victory. Okay. There is power in falling. There is power in, because when you fall, you learn. There is power in compassion. That's a sense of vulnerability by being open, possibly being hurt, but also connecting with another individual. I see the end of a cycle for you, an end of the way of being. Things are changing, things are evolving, and you have to evolve with the situation, with the times. But I see you still being trapped in your head. Some of it is about busy work. Some of it is like, I've already started this path. Why would I reevaluate and back up? But I see being trapped in your head by activity, doing things. But the reason why it's not working now is because it's distancing you further and further away from what really matters. I feel like there's some sort of safety in trying to hide in work, money, responsibilities, things like that. But there needs to be some sort of emotional vulnerability here. It's like some people around you are not happy, and they need that from you. They don't need for you to try to run their lives. They just need for you to be there. And this is also in tandem, emotional healing for yourself. I will say this. I see you holding back on this as long as you possibly can. And seeing that if you do not take this route, you run the risk of losing happiness. And it's a happiness you're gonna miss. It's a happiness that is definitely gonna leave a void. Okay. Something is happening, or something has happened to you that has your mind swirling. You worry, you're sad, you're anxious. Behind the scenes is what I'm getting. I don't think that you're really showing people. It's interesting though, because I can see that people see through the cracks, but you don't think that they do. Okay. And it's like the universe, your higher power, is giving you indication that there needs to be a shift. That this is a moment of reevaluation. This is a moment of expressing yourself. This is a moment to connect. It's like a pattern is broken or needs to be broken. It looks like there's some sort of loss of a job, loss of a person in your life. It's interesting because I feel like you were content with the situation at first. Like you knew it was coming, or you started the process. I'm not sure. But it feels like you were okay with it until it happened. And it hit you in a way that you were not expecting, that you did not anticipate, which is a really good example of, you never know till you get there. I see emotion draining from you, feeling lost, starting to feel disconnected. But you've adopted this I'm going to take it one day at a time thing, because you feel like this is sort of covering it up. It's not that you don't want to deal with it. It feels like a lot to have to deal with. The end of a cycle, it kind of comes up to me as a whole revamp of your life situation or how you think about things. And that's taxing to think about. But you have the opportunity to be happy, I feel like this is something that's happening to you now, and you can't stop it from happening. So you have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn to find happiness. And I almost feel like it's the people around you that you may have cut off emotionally that you're going to have to open up to emotionally. Yeah, I see you taking action also, Taurus, on something that you should have took action on before. It's like something that you were like, I can handle it. I can do it. I can, I'm strong enough. But the surprise to you is that this is a different situation that you don't know how to deal with. So you need to open up to get help, support, something of that nature. Because it's time to look at the bigger picture and not just taking it day by day in this instance. Okay. All right, Taurus. Yeah. I see before whatever this is that happened, you definitely thought you had everything under control. Definitely. You know, it's like there was no emotional outburst. Your emotions weren't flailing. No one else was. And you were like, good, everything's under control. But what I see is it was just teetering. You know, the way they're showing it to me is like water in a scale. And then when water got too much in one scale, it just tipped over. Everything just fell out. And then you're like, I have so much stuff I need to do. I have so much stuff I need to work on. And keeping yourself busy, working, taking care of things, it's great. It's fine. And I feel like that's what you sort of been doing is like working, keeping yourself busy, keeping your mind occupied. But I'm seeing that spiritually, you're just holding off the inevitable of what needs to happen. You're holding off the inevitable of what you need to deal with. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing coming into April. Unfortunately or fortunately, you know. So this is an opportunity for you to start taking the steps to deal with yourself, your mind. And I feel like what's interesting is let's say you go the therapy route, which I totally believe in therapy 100%. It's wonderful. The more steps you start taking to go towards that direction, the more things you'll have to integrate into your life. So, and I feel like it's going to eventually go towards emotions eventually. So it'll give you like steps to take and a direction to go in. It's like you're picking off pieces. Okay, if the whole issue is a loaf of bread, you're picking off pieces of bread until you get the whole loaf consumed. That's what I'm seeing for you. So it's a chance for you to make better decisions. It's a chance for you to turn thoughts into actions that can have a lasting effect, not just for everyone involved, for the greater good, not just you. It's almost like you're going to reevaluate in April what's important. It's really coming together for you what's important. Not what looks good, but what truly is important. I see you needing to deal with loss, actually, physically. Not just, oh, I'll just sit and read a book and then take some time to myself. It looks like you physically need to deal with some loss. I would say therapy. I would say chakra healing. I would say meditation. There's an action that needs to be taken to deal with the loss of something. And this could be a person, a relationship. It could also be a job. I see that there's something emotional about it that you need to get out. It, it's like an emotional swamp. is how I'm viewing it. Like an emotional swamp you need to wade through. And when you take a step, it's all the muck on the bottom of your shoe. It's like, and that's an issue you got to deal with emotionally. Then you take another step, and that's one until you get to the end. So a lot of this has to do with vulnerability and lessening of ego. So you can actually be strong. Like you can actually start moving forward with a confidence that's healthy and not damaging to you or others. Yeah, I just see a lot of deeper understanding of yourself and your actions and moving forward. Like a wake up call in ways. Okay, I'm going to take these cards out and we're going to go into Taurus. We're going to go into money. Well, it's like the earthly realm, emotional, actions, how you communicate with others. A good all around picture, I think, for self development. As you know, I'm more about self development than future telling. That's not really my thing. Okay. Yeah, in the past, you were about the rules, you were about work, you were about structure. I see, sorry, the sun is going down. I see a lot of that changing for you, Taurus, um, which means that there is a change in structure and routine and how you think about things. And again, that can be scary. Okay. Again, that can throw you off off balance. Um, But I see that either others around you or you're not feeling the nurturing energy that you truly need. It's like that realization that emotional things are as important as money, as important as action, as important. So it's like needing to here it is cuz it's coming to me. Balancing out the feminine and masculine properties. Too much masculine, needing to insert some feminine in there. Okay. Um, yeah. Before it becomes detrimental. I mean, that's really what it is about. You've definitely been holding something in about the loss, about something you may have walked away from as well. Um, you've been holding it in and maybe even doubting the decisions or the directions that you have taken. Because I see that you're kind of dealing with the repercussions of something. Okay. It may not even be it's not your fault. It's like just dealing with the effects of something. And not knowing really what steps to take and being lost and trying to be in your head about it and trying to figure things out. But people can tell by your actions and by what you're doing that something is the matter. That's why I'm suggesting that you communicate with someone. I don't want to say smarter with you than you, but has some sort of more wisdom than you do in the area of communication and emotions, which leads me to therapy or something of that nature. A spiritual advisor, okay, as well. You know, some of us do get therapy from churches. And I found that I didn't know that. That is not a thing. I grew up Catholic. I don't, who knows? All right. um Yeah, it's interesting because I'm seeing here, Taurus, that you really haven't been moving for like walking forward in love because you felt like your emotions didn't keep you strong. You felt like your emotions didn't keep you stable. So it kind of was like, well, I'm going to shut those down, or I'm not going to deal with those right now, or it's not useful. And you're starting to see that they do play a part, right? Listening to your feelings, understanding your emotions and your anger plays a part. And in knowing that that has slowly been breaking you down, if you don't know that it does, slowly breaking you down, now you're diving into it slowly so you can maintain or have some sort of happiness. So I would speak with family members or friends, people close to you that you love and care about your actions. And I'm sure, Taurus, from what I'm seeing in these cards, that they have told you about it. But, you know, take that in and process it. So I do see that in this love area over here, you definitely have been blocking out people from your sort of bubble, your world since the incident. I'm going to call it the incident with quotes. Has happened to you. It's almost like you kind of denied your emotions about a situation, excuse me, and just tried to focus on the money part, on the physical material aspects of something and not the emotional part. But you're starting to see, ooh, it's like somebody needs emotion from you, love, care, affection, kindness, and you're kind of disconnected to a point where you can't even give them that. And but the thing that I'm seeing, Taurus, is that you're seeing this happen, and the choice really is, what are you going to do with this conflict? Are you going to blame it on the other party? Or are you going to be like, oh, this seems to be an issue, so maybe I should try something different? You know, it's really up to you how you're going to handle it. So, spiritual advice, we have insecurity as the first card. This is issues with your stability. Okay. Focusing too much on your stability, as I said before. Becoming obsessed with material abundance, physical abundance, things that you can hold, things that are tangible, what people can see. Am I focusing on the money and the bills and all of that type of thing? But it feels like it's all about a sense of control, right? Of hiding behind something, being attached to something and not necessarily wanting to deal with it at that moment. And then mysticism. Sometimes there are things that you cannot understand, and that's what mysticism brings about. There are things that right now you cannot conceive, okay? But who's to say 5 years from now you won't be able to? We change, we gain wisdom, but we have to sort of go into the unknown. And even though the unknown is not promised to us, you have to have that little bit of faith. Okay. Forgiveness. You know, that's forgiveness for not knowing, forgiveness for not having the wisdom, forgiveness for not Forgiving yourself for not taking action when you should have. These are things that we can consider issues of the past. And in this reading, it's all about moving forward. You know, it's all about seeing what needs to happen now or what can possibly be done now and resolving that. So, Taurus. Sorry, I was trying to get the lighting right, but this is where we at till the sun goes down. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.